The August sun beat down on my sister Victoria's pristine backyard as I watched my 9-year-old daughter Emma help herself to a burger from the grill. The annual family barbecue was in full swing, with relatives scattered across the lawn, admiring Victoria's newest property additions. Before Emma could take a bite, Victoria's manicured hand intercepted the plate. Her diamond bracelet caught the sunlight as she lifted the burger away. "Not so fast, sweetheart," Victoria said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "Poor kids need to earn their food at family gatherings. That's how the real world works." Emma's face flushed red as 20 relatives turned to stare. Most nodded in agreement or looked away. Victoria handed her a long pool net, gesturing toward the Olympic-sized pool. Leaves floated on the surface. "The pool needs cleaning before dinner service. I'm sure your mother taught you about hard work, right?" Victoria glanced at me with that familiar smirk I'd endured since childhood. I sat quietly in my lawn chair, sipping lemonade. Emma looked at me with confused, hurt eyes. I gave her a small nod. She took the net with shaking hands. My brother Marcus laughed from his lounge chair. "That's good parenting, Vic, teaching the next generation about earning their keep. Unlike some people," my mother added pointedly, "who just expect handouts from successful family members." I said nothing. I just pulled out my phone and typed a quick message. The response came within seconds. Victoria's husband, Greg, fired up the grill again, announcing premium steaks for the adults who contributed to society. Emma skimmed leaves from the pool, her small arms struggling with the heavy net. Other cousins ran past her, splashing and laughing. "Mom, why do I have to work?" Emma whispered when she came close to my chair. "Just a little longer, honey," I said softly. "Keep going." Victoria overheard and smiled triumphantly. "See? Even she knows her place. That's what happens when you waste your life on silly little jobs instead of building real success." My father raised his glass. "To Victoria, youngest partner at Henderson and Associates law firm. Making the family proud." Everyone cheered. Victoria beamed, soaking in the attention. She'd spent the last hour detailing her latest case, her new Mercedes, and her upcoming vacation to the Maldives. The country club, she'd mentioned it at least 5 times, had just approved her for their executive diamond membership. The club president himself called me, Victoria had announced earlier. Said they rarely see professionals of my caliber. The membership fee alone is $60,000 annually, but when you're at my level, it's just the cost of maintaining the right social circles. She went on about the exclusive golf course, the private dining rooms, and the member-only events. Her entire identity seemed wrapped up in that membership, in being seen as successful. Marcus chimed in. "Remember when Dad tried to get us all memberships there? They rejected his application twice. Said the wait list was years long." "Well, that's what happens when you have real connections," Victoria said, glancing at me. "Some of us know how to network properly. Some of us just exist." I checked my phone again. Another message. I replied with 2 words. "Do it." Emma finished one section of the pool, her arms visibly tired. Sweat dripped down her forehead. Victoria inspected it like a drill sergeant, walking the perimeter with exaggerated scrutiny. "You missed a spot. There. And there. Honestly, do I have to teach you everything? Maybe if you paid attention in school, you'd understand thoroughness." The other children continued playing Marco Polo in the deep end, their laughter echoing. Not one of them was asked to lift a finger. My Aunt Patricia joined in. "You're too soft on her. My kids knew how to work by that age. But then again, their mother actually achieved something in life." "What do you even do anymore?" Victoria asked me directly, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. She set down her wine glass with deliberate slowness. "Still doing that freelance thing? Writing or consulting or whatever you call it. Must be nice to have so much free time. No real responsibilities, no pressure to perform." "Something like that," I replied evenly, maintaining eye contact. "See, that's the problem with your generation," my father interjected, warming to his familiar theme. "No stability. No real career. Just floating around with creative jobs that don't mean anything. In my day, you picked a profession and stuck with it. Built something. Created a legacy." "She's always been the dreamer of the family," my mother added, her tone making it clear that dreaming was not a compliment. "Never had Victoria's drive or Marcus's business sense. Just drifted from one thing to another." Victoria smiled, satisfied with the united front against me. At least Emma will learn some work ethic today. Better late than never, right? Victoria's phone rang. She glanced at it, frowned, then answered. Hello? Yes, this is Victoria Brennan. Wait, what? There must be some mistake. Her face went pale. Everyone stopped talking. But I just got approved last month. The president personally called me. This doesn't make any sense. Her voice climbed higher. What do you mean my membership is under review? She pulled the phone away from her ear, staring at it in disbelief. They hung up on me. Who was that? Greg asked. The country club. They said my membership has been revoked pending a board review. Something about inappropriate conduct and falsified references. Marcus laughed. That's ridiculous. Call them back. Victoria tried. No answer. She tried again. Voicemail. My phone buzzed. I glanced at the message and allowed myself the smallest smile. This is insane, Victoria said, her voice shaking. I have a dinner reservation there tomorrow night with the Henderson senior partners. This could ruin everything. Maybe it's a clerical error, my mother suggested. Victoria's phone rang again. A different number. She answered immediately. Hello? Yes, this is she. What? No, that's not. I never. She lowered the phone slowly. That was the club's head of membership. He said the board received a complaint about my conduct. Something about mistreating service workers and demonstrating behavior unbecoming of the club's values. All eyes turned to me. I continued sipping my lemonade. Did you? Victoria started, but her phone rang again. This time it was a text message. She read it and tears started forming. They're demanding I return my membership credentials immediately. They've already notified Henderson and Associates about the situation. Why would they contact your firm? Greg asked. Because, Victoria's voice broke. They said the complaint came from someone with significant influence. Someone whose recommendation carries more weight than mine. Someone who, she looked directly at me. Who is this person? I stood up slowly, walked to Emma and took the pool net from her trembling hands. Go get your burger, sweetheart. Get two if you want. Wait, Marcus said. What's going on? My phone rang. I answered on speaker. Hello, James. All taken care of, a distinguished voice said. I've spoken to the board personally. Mrs. Brennan's membership has been permanently revoked. I also took the liberty of mentioning the situation to my colleague at Henderson and Associates. He was quite disturbed to hear about her conduct. Thank you, James. I appreciate you handling this so quickly. Anything for you. Your legal consultation saved our club from a $50 million lawsuit 2 years ago. We don't forget that. Besides, the club's code of conduct is clear. We don't tolerate members who demean others, especially children. I ended the call. The backyard was silent except for the hum of the pool filter. James. Victoria whispered. James Morrison? The country club president. Former client, I said simply. I handled a major litigation case for the club. A property dispute with the city. Took me 18 months, but we won. James has been grateful ever since. You're a lawyer? My father said. Corporate litigation specialist. I've been practicing for 12 years. Freelance, as Victoria called it, because I prefer selecting my own clients rather than being beholden to a firm's politics and billing quotas. I handle complex property disputes, contract negotiations and corporate litigation for high-value clients. My retainer starts at $50,000 per case. The silence that followed was profound. Marcus's mouth hung open. My mother's wine glass tilted dangerously in her hand. But you dress so, Patricia started, gesturing at my simple sundress. Modestly, I supplied. That's intentional. I've found that not broadcasting wealth makes people reveal who they really are. It's been quite educational over the years. Marcus stood up. But you never said anything. You never mentioned. Nobody asked, I replied. Everyone assumed. I saw no reason to correct assumptions that made you feel superior. My mother's face had gone white. The country club membership that your father applied for. I'm the one who recommended against it, I confirmed. James asked my opinion on several applications. I told him Dad wasn't a good fit for the club's culture. I was protecting the club from exactly the kind of behavior I witnessed today. Victoria was crying openly now. You ruined my career. Henderson will fire me over this. No, I said calmly. You ruined your own career by demonstrating who you really are. I simply made sure the right people knew about it. Greg tried to salvage the situation. Look, maybe we all overreacted. It's just family stuff, right? Teasing. You made my 9-year-old daughter clean your pool while other children played. You called her poor. You made her earn food at a family gathering. That's not teasing. That's cruelty. Emma stood beside me now, burger in hand, watching her aunt with wide eyes. My phone buzzed again. I read the message aloud. James says the club's board has also decided to review all membership applications from your law firm. Apparently, Henderson and Associates has several partners who are members. They're concerned about the firm's culture if this is how their junior partners behave. Victoria collapsed into a chair, her makeup starting to run. You've destroyed everything. My reputation, my career, my social standing. All because of a stupid joke? This is cruel. Not a joke, I said steadily. A choice. You chose to humiliate a child to feel powerful. You chose to make her clean your pool like a servant while your children played. I chose to show you what real power looks like. Greg stepped forward, his face flushed. This affects me too. Our social circle, our connections. Then you should have stopped your wife from bullying a 9-year-old, I replied. But you didn't. You stood there and did nothing. Patricia stood up. This is excessive. She's your sister. And Emma is my daughter. Which relationship do you think matters more to me? My father tried a different approach. Surely we can work this out. Family doesn't destroy family over one incident. This wasn't one incident, I said quietly. This was 20 years of incidents. 20 years of being dismissed, mocked, and treated as lesser. I tolerated it when it was just me. But the moment you extended that treatment to my child, you crossed a line. Victoria looked up at me with red eyes. What do you want? An apology? Fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're happy. I don't want anything, I said. I just wanted you to understand that the person you've been dismissing your entire life had the power to change yours with a single phone call. And now you know. Marcus tried one more time. Come on. Let's all calm down. Victoria will apologize properly. We'll have a nice dinner. Everything will go back to normal. Normal. I picked up Emma's hand. Normal was my daughter being treated like hired help at a family gathering. I'm not interested in normal anymore. I walked toward the gate, Emma beside me. Behind us, chaos erupted. Victoria was calling the club Henderson and Associates, anyone who might help. My parents were arguing about whether to support her or try to reconcile with me. Greg was calculating the financial damage. As we reached my car, Emma looked up at me. Mom, are you really a lawyer? Yes, baby. A really good one. Why didn't you tell them before? I buckled her seat belt. Because watching them underestimate me gave me a strategic advantage. In law, we call that leverage. What happens now? Now we go home. And you never have to clean anyone's pool again. My phone rang one final time as I started the engine. It was James. Just wanted you to know, he said. The board meeting concluded. We're implementing a new screening process for all future members. Character assessment will be weighted more heavily than professional credentials. We should have been doing that all along. Good policy, I said. Also, your firm's referral list has been updated. Any attorney you recommend will receive expedited review for membership. Consider it a standing thank you for your continued counsel. The board was unanimous in this decision after I explained your contributions to the club's legal standing. I thanked him and ended the call. In the rearview mirror, I could see Victoria's house. Her perfect backyard with its showcase pool and professional landscaping, her carefully constructed image of success. All of it built on the assumption that she was better than everyone else, that her law firm partnership and country club membership made her superior to the sister she'd dismissed for years. The sun was setting now, casting long shadows across her property. Through the window I could see people gathering their things, the party dissolving into awkward goodbyes and whispered conversations. No doubt they were already texting other family members, spreading the news about what had happened, about who I really was and what I'd done. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the most powerful. My family just learned that lesson the hard way. Emma was already asleep by the time we got home, exhausted from her humiliating afternoon. I carried her inside and tucked her into bed, knowing she'd wake up tomorrow in a world where her aunt no longer held power over her. As for Victoria, she'd wake up to a very different world. One where her membership was gone, her reputation questioned, and her firm wondering if she was worth the trouble. Her upcoming dinner with the senior partners would be cancelled. Her colleagues would hear about the incident. Her carefully curated image as a rising star would be tarnished by the knowledge that she'd mistreated a child at a family gathering. All because she couldn't resist making a child feel small. All because she needed everyone to see her as successful, as better, as worthy of respect. Respect she then refused to extend to others. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on my own modest patio. No Olympic pool. No showcase backyard. No desperate need to prove my worth through material possessions. Just a quiet space where my daughter felt safe and valued, where she never had to earn her right to eat or apologize for existing. My phone showed 3 missed calls from my mother and 7 texts from various family members. I'd respond eventually. But tonight, I simply enjoyed the silence and the satisfaction of knowing that sometimes justice doesn't take years of court battles. Sometimes it just takes one phone call from the right person at the right time. And I had always been very good at knowing exactly who to call.